Yeah, I'm sure with that. My name's Johnny Brock. Of course, I am doing an interview today with Jonathon Stertzbach. And I think I nailed his last name.
Nailed
It's
it.
a lot of people would say Stertzbach probably, but
Yeah,
I get that ch is silent. But
it is.
Jonathan, first of all, I like you said, I think we've crossed paths at Medicare Con before.
We have.
Um,
Mhm.
and it's good to hop on a call and get to know you a little bit better. Jonathan's got a successful agency. Where are you based out of?
We're down in Georgia near Athens.
That's right. And Jonathan is a veteran of the what service? What branch?
I was Air Force Reserve and active Army, so I got to go to boot camp twice.
Fantastic, man. I bet you
Sucked both
enjoyed
times,
that.
man.
It sucks. No matter what branch it is, it does suck, man. I'll say this: Army's probably a little bit worse. Which one was worse, Army?
Ironically, the Air Force was worse. So I was a chaplain. I was a military chaplain, and I got to serve God and country. And I went in the Air Force into a training program. So they just threw me in with all the regular line officers. So, Army a little more pork chop platoon, where I went with older people that were chaplains, a little more out of weight, not as fit, not as buff, not as lean, not as mean, certainly not as
Yeah,
young. But
yeah.
it was a great experience. It really made me who I am.
Well, I love to hear that, man. And from a chaplain's point of view, I am a massive follower of Christ. I'm not like boasting. I would say I'm not a what people would call a Jesus freak or anything like that. But I will say this, and then we'll start with the interview. When I
Sure.
was when I was 9 years old, I had a dream, and Jesus came to me in my dream and showed me his hands. And the reason that he did that is because I know he did it for me because
Mhm.
I was struggling at that time. And what I was struggling with, I was 9 or 10 years old, and I was struggling. I would go to my dad and my brother and my mom, and I would cry and I would say, I don't want to go to hell. I'm worried. I think a lot
Right.
of people probably in the Bible Belt growing up in Mississippi, a lot of kids might go through that. But I was worried. And he came to
Mm.
me in a dream and he told me that, and he showed me his hands, and I felt overwhelming peace from that day forward. And so I am a very, very big believer in Christ. I love Jesus. I'm big on Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and
Yeah.
I will tell you this: I love to get a view from a chaplain's view. So, um, Air Force Reserve, active Army duty. What year did you get out of the military? And obviously,
Yeah.
you can tell us a little bit about your military
I
career
went
too.
active duty right after the Twin Towers fell. I was in the Air Force, couldn't get an active duty commission. I missed the first Gulf War in high school. It ended before I graduated, wasn't old enough. So I didn't get to do that. Went to college thinking I had only missed my chance to defend my country ever in my life. Boy, was I wrong. Longest war in the history of this country. Went down to an
Yeah, really.
Army recruiter and said, "Hey, I'm already an Air Force officer. Can I join the Army?" And he said, "Are you crazy?" I said, "If you will put me in combat, I will sign anything. I want to leave tomorrow." And it didn't happen that fast, but pretty close. And I did two combat tours, one in Afghanistan. In '01, you remember the first election they had there with the purple finger? Excuse me, that was Iraq. Their first election. And then I was part of the initial invasion force into Afghanistan. We fired the first artillery shell in anger in the global war of terror. That was my battalion with the 10th Mountain Division, and
Wow.
climbed to glory, 40 below zero. That was us.
I guess the major thing that I want to talk about for this, because obviously for those watching this, this is focused on veterans, right, and helping them
Yeah.
transition into a Medicare career. First of all, I'll say this from one fellow veteran to another: thank you for your service. You did
Thank you. God
a great
bless.
duty. So, real quick before I do move on to Medicare stuff, um, you were a chaplain. What does a chaplain do in combat and in those situations? I'm just curious because I've never really
Fabulous. Yeah. Great question.
covered that.
So, a chaplain, what I can't perform as a Baptist, I have to provide. So, if I can, obviously I can't pray Islamic prayer services. I don't believe that. But I do believe in freedom, and I would die over somebody's right to worship however they want. I can think they're wrong, but as a constitutional republic, which our country is, it is my job to support and defend the Constitution. When you go into military service, The government cannot take away religious rights. So my job is to protect everybody's right to worship how they want. And then I do services and conduct counseling and help people according to my faith and conscience. And it's a good balance. If you remember back in 2003, there was a chaplain that prayed in the name of Jesus and got absolutely lambasted. You can Google it, Chaplain Jonathon Stertzbach. I was not looking for a fight, but a two-star general apparently had a bone to pick with me, and we went toe-to-toe, and in the end, freedom won. Freedom should always win. And it's all about freedom. I want freedom in Christ. I don't want anybody shoving a Bible down my throat. And faith and purpose is very important in this business. So if you know your purpose and you know your mission, whether you're a veteran or a committed Christian or a Muslim or an atheist, if you know your purpose and mission, you're going to do a lot better in this business because you're going to know when you've made it. You're going to know when to push and when not to push. It's a great thing. So I was very, very grateful to serve God and country. And I got out as a captain. I took a hit in Afghanistan that pretty much ended my career.
Wow, man. I mean, that's you've been through a lot. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
49.
And how old were you when you joined the Air Force? Could you join the Air Force
I
first?
was 22 or 23.
And you got out how
12
old?
years. I did 12 years in total.
Okay. So when you got out, did you bounce around, or you didn't get straight into Medicare, did you?
When I got out, I was a minister for 10 years. So I went and
Gotcha.
did my doctorate. I got a counseling. I have 2 master's degrees going into the military, got a doctorate, did some postdoctoral work, thought I was going to be a minister. And it turns out working for God doesn't come with dental. So I don't mean to be sacrilegious, but
Dude, it's fine.
church work
Sure.
is tough. My last church, I worked full time, 2 master's degrees, a doctorate. I made $30,000 a year without benefits. And then God bless my wife. You know her on TikTok as Medicare Mandy. She
Yeah.
is just God's gift to me. I love her so much. She is the epitome of a businesswoman. And I want, when she lost her job, she supported my habit of ministry. And I just decided I'm never going to go hungry again. So I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and said, I need some cash flow. Where can I get revenue? Where can I make money in my sleep? And man, I think, Johnny, insurance has made more millionaires than any other business in the United States. The people I knew were driving nicer cars, lived in nicer homes, had more expensive and more frequent vacations. And I wanted that. I don't think that you have to be poor to serve God. And I want abundant life. Jesus came, said, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And I think you and I want to give our employees abundant life. Man, I
Yeah.
want you to have awesome vacation. I want you to have a six-figure salary. Heck, I'm sitting here at home working in my underwear all day. Picked up 2 or 3 clients today, made $1,000, $1,500. Think about it. If you make $1,000 a day, that's $300,000 a year if you take every Sunday and 2 weeks off. Bro, where can you make multiple six figures at home? You set your schedule in your underwear. I'm not saying it's easy, but I get to go to all my kids' hockey games and ball games and dance recitals. And so this is the ultimate for me. And I'm going to go one step further because we're self-employed. We get to shield a lot of this 81,000 pages of tax code that we get to utilize being self-employed to shield a lot of this income. This is the
Mhm.
greatest opportunity. And right now, Medicare is paying more than it's ever paid. And it's the greatest opportunity on earth to the greatest generation. 11,000 people a day need our help. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
that's incredible too. 11,000 people a day. If you think about it, it's hard to put into words. When I told I have a new mentor that's helping me with the webinars. When I told him that, he
Yeah,
was like, "That's crazy to think about," and it doesn't plateau until 2030. We
I
got
know.
4 more years.
I
Um,
know. Well,
and
that
it plateaus and
plateaus. I mean, it's going to
plateaus.
gradually come down, but you and I are not in competition. If
There's
I
so
know
many
someone,
people, dude.
if I know you're somebody, you have a client, if I know you're their agent, I don't want to steal them. I'm going to tell them to
I did.
call
I'm the
you.
same way. Yeah,
Deal
I'm the
with an
same way.
ethical
I always
person.
tell people, I say, do you have an agent? If you have an agent, you should stick with them. You shouldn't even be talking to me. You shouldn't
Right,
be filling out forms. That
right.
agent is who. That's the person you should be contacting. And
Yes.
you know, there's most agents aren't like that, like you and I. But so real quick, I want to talk about the. You said it's not easy.
No.
I want to talk briefly about when you first got into Medicare, right?
Yeah.
You know, of course, you were only making 30,000 a year. It's kind of like, you know, hard not to do more than that in Medicare, right? Because you could
Right.
literally you could walk around telling everybody what you do, and you'd make more than that, right? You would.
You
You,
should.
you should. It's all about
Yeah.
finding people to help, right? So, especially if you also do the ACA thing as well, right? Or under
Yes.
65.
Yep.
So when you first started, what was your go-to? How did you start helping people? What was
Yeah, I
your
started
marketing
with,
tactic?
yeah, a guy down in Florida like you. He was an upline, lived in Florida, said, come down, stay on the beach, eat some seafood. And I thought, heck, if nothing else, screw the sales pitch. I'm going to go have fun. I got there. And when he presented his business model, I said, that is the dopest business model I have ever seen in my life. That is literally shooting fish in a barrel. I want to be part of that. Initially, though, he tried to hire Sugar Mama, trophy wife, because of her business background. But when he found out and learned who I was, I mean, honestly, bro, selling Medicare and insurance is way easier than selling Jesus. And I do not mean to
Oh
be
well,
sacrilegious. If
it's
you
okay.
can tell people about Jesus, Medicare is easy.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with telling people, you know, like if you're teaching a class or teaching, like if you're a
Yes.
teacher as a minister, you're a teacher. If you're a
Yes,
teacher, if you've ever taught anything, you can definitely sell Medicare for sure.
absolutely.
It's all about building the relationship, right? And that's all it is. Spreading the word of Christ is about building the relationship with that person, and then explaining and sharing your relationship with Christ. It's really all that is, right? So
I'm
it's a
not
very
any less of a minister. I think I'm more effective because every day I found a group of sinners and I dove in head first. And I love sinners, man. It's job security. They're my favorite people, and Jesus loves them. He was known as the chief of sinners, friend of sinners, excuse me, friend of sinners. Big delineation. I just want people to know Jesus loves them. And you know what? I get this wonderful opportunity that even if they don't believe in Jesus, I get to help them. It's so rewarding to help people stay healthy, fix problems in their lives. Man, I cannot say this enough. This is the greatest job you will ever love.
So what can you share with new agents about shooting fish in a barrel? What can you share with new agents of when they
Yeah.
first get started? What would you do if you were starting over? What would
Yeah.
you do?
If I was starting over, I would find a Johnny Brock or a Jonathan Stertzbach, and I would say, I will do whatever you tell me for 365 days. Guide me, and I will be tenacious. And if you are tenacious, even if you're an idiot, sorry about that. There's money calling right there, boys. Um, yeah,
That's all right. I won't take up
sorry
much of your
about
time so
that.
you can get back to them.
No worries. I would tell somebody, find the right guidance, because here's my thing. In artillery, I served with an artillery battalion in combat. When you shoot artillery, if you don't return fire fast enough, you're going to miss every time. Time on target is so important. When people say to me, is this a get rich scheme? I always say to them, you better hope it is, because time is the most valuable asset that we have. And let me prove it to you. If I said, Johnny, I'm going to give you $1 million today, would you take it?
Yes.
Heck yeah, you would. But if I said, I'm going to give you $1 million, but you're going to be dead tomorrow, would you take it?
No.
I just proved to you that time is more important than money. So the issue that I want to say to people is, some of you aren't making money fast enough. I could have done what I did. We're knocking on a book of 2000 active policy. We're around 1800, 1800 right now. We are leaders here in Georgia. We have a 97% retention rate. We're blowing the doors off of the numbers. I wish I had gotten here twice as fast. And if I had hired a mentor for $20,000, $30,000, or I had just been a downline and said, teach me, Obi-Wan, whatever, I would have gotten there so much faster. I would not have had to learn by experience. I could have learned from your failures. So I think that's the thing is time, time, time.
All right.
Don't waste time.
So what would you, somebody watches this video, they reach out to you.
Yeah.
What do you tell them? What do you
I'm
tell them?
Time is your most valuable asset. And the first thing that I'm going to do is absolutely immerse you in training, just like in the military. I think what we're doing, Johnny, is way more important than killing people, don't you?
Of course I do.
Of course. So if I train full time and overtime to kill people and keep America free, what would I do to keep my friends and family healthy?
Train, train,
Training.
train.
Oh,
Yeah.
jump in. Do not come into this and give 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week. Dive in head first. The only way to learn a language is completely immerse yourself. Find Obi-Wan Kenobi, find, Yoda, and sit underneath these guys, these gurus, and learn fast. Because the faster you learn, that snowball rolls down the hill. Every time it turns over, it gets bigger and faster, and your income will explode if you get there faster.
I think that training is the number one thing, and that's why
Yes.
you're working on a course, I'm working on a course, and you start building out the course, man. Let me tell you, dude, I've there's so much involved in Medicare, right? Let me
Yes.
ask you a question because I believe you say immerse them in training. I say immerse
Yes.
them in training, but no longer than 2 weeks. I say after 2 weeks, dive in and
Yes.
start training on the scenarios. That's
Yes.
what I say. 2 weeks
Yes.
of hardcore learning and training. And I'm building out a 90-day transformation guideline. And
Love it.
the first 2 weeks are licensing, and so get licensed and train all day, every day. Treat it like a full-time job. And if
Yes.
you're and the problem is a lot of people, here's why I'm selling my course and I'm not giving it away for free. A lot of
Don't.
people, a lot of people will they will say, "Oh, I want to work a part-time job. I don't have time for it." I want people that are
Right.
all in. I want you all in. I want you to have enough money to invest in yourself and to build and grow, because at the end of the day, I need you to give me 90 days. If you give me 90 days, within
Yes.
that 90-day period, some people sooner, some quicker, you will start making more money than you've ever made, because it's very, very
Yeah.
simple. Once you once you get your licensing, your certifications, and you start training, and you train for 10 to 14 days, you immerse yourself in that training and you learn the sales process, whether it's over the phone or in person. It's very
Yes.
simple. You spend 3,000, you make 12,000. That's the way it
Yes.
works, man. And you could do it with direct mail. You could do it with online marketing, and it depends on how much startup capital you have. If you
Yeah.
have more startup capital, honestly, I would say let's do a mixture of both. If you have more, if you have less, I would say
Yeah.
let's go online, because the meta, with the meta ads, you can spend $1,000 a month and get some really good returns. But at the end of the day, you immerse yourself in training for a certain amount of time, and then you throw yourself in the deep end and you sink or swim. And if you put yourself in a situation to sink or swim,
Yep.
most people are going to swim.
They're gonna swim.
75% are going to swim. Now,
Yep.
25%, they may leave, ask for a refund. They can't have it.
Yeah.
They may leave, ask for a refund, and give up. But 75% of the people that spend $5,000 on a course, they put
Yep.
themselves in the situation to succeed. They will succeed, and it's really not that difficult. Once you dive in, give yourself right. You train for 2 weeks, dive in for two more weeks, so that they're 30 days in. After that 2 weeks of diving in, And I love Discord, man. You really need to look into Discord if you
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah.
Have you looked into it? So
Sure.
with Discord, I just started using Discord. Today was the first day. I can do live calls. They can hear me do the live calls.
Yeah.
I can whisper to them while they're doing the live calls.
Oh yeah.
It's truly an amazing platform. So you have these different technologies and programs that you can use to train people. Immerse yourself in live calls, and I believe that when you dump yourself in the deep end and it's sink or swim, I believe that that's the quickest way to success. Because at the end of the day, and this might lead me to my next question, I have an order of operations:
Yeah.
medications, doctors,
Yep.
out of pocket expenses and
Yep.
exposure, benefits, and authorized representative. Those are your
Yep.
5 order of operations. If you follow those, you will
Yep.
succeed. Let me tell you a secret. I didn't know what the Part A deductible was the first 12 months that I was in this business.
I didn't
I knew,
either.
I knew, I knew, I knew that Part A covered hospitalization, but guess
Yeah.
what? Nobody ever asked me what the Part A deductible was
Correct.
because I was covering it.
Yep.
I didn't. I sell the solution. Why do
Yes.
you even need to know? Hey, I don't.
Yes.
You don't need to know all the weeds. You don't need to
No.
know the deductible. So, do you have a process like that that you teach
Absolutely.
people?
Yeah, we say to our people, burn the leads to the ground. I don't want outstanding leads. I don't care if you totally screw up, burn them to the ground. And we follow up with a lead, Johnny, at least 22 or 23 times.
Love it.
Stop
Love it.
being a bunch of pansies. These people contact you and say, I'm interested. Prove to them that you're interested. Hey, man,
Yeah.
I have people call me 10 years later and say, you were the nicest, kindest, most helpful person. Sign me up. We have people like crazy calling us from annual enrollment a few weeks ago saying, I screwed up. I should have gone with you. They're
I had that.
pouring
Yeah.
in. And ethics, man, but I do. I'm with you. We have a process. We go the
That's a
same
good
way.
one.
We go doctors first, then meds. Probably should go meds first. You know, my wife and I are running $500,000-$600,000 business in our free time. We can do this on the road with a motorhome, but the process, a good system will beat a good salesperson every time. Learn a system, do the same things, be very, very disciplined. And this is why military officers, military personnel make great employees because they can grind. They will sit down at
Yeah.
a desk and work until the mission is done. Here's a great quote: if you want to spend like you don't have a budget, don't look at the clock like you have a day off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
stop wasting time. Work till the mission is done. And if you say to me, I want to make $500,000 a year and you work 20 hours, you're
You don't want
delusional.
to. You
Yeah,
don't
you're
want to.
delusional. And I hate not to work because it's hundreds of dollars an hour that I'm leaving on the table. And all these people love what we're doing for them. This is
Hmm.
so fabulous, bro.
Yeah. I that is one, and I don't do. So what we do is I do we always call people. I call people 50 times, in a year
Love it.
period. The way that we do it is within the first 24 hours we call 12 times, right? So
Wow.
12 times within the first 24 hours. So if you have I'll give you an example. I was in Florida, living in Florida, helped a guy build an agency out there. Granted, it didn't work out very well. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. I don't know if
Yeah,
you ever heard that before.
I have.
Too many partners.
Too
So
many
so great,
officers, not enough enlisted. Yeah, I get it.
great,
Yep.
great learning experience, man. I learned more about myself and more about business than I ever had, even working previously under my brother, which all I did was sell for 4 years. But I
Yeah.
learned about business quite a bit. And one thing that we would do though, we had a really good run, man. We really did. Sold a lot of policies. First 12 months, we sold it. I was there for 12 months exactly, and within those 12 months, we probably sold 2,000 policies. We had a really good run. But what we didn't have was we didn't have good we didn't have good expenses, money mine. We didn't um,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say. We didn't manage our money properly.
Tough in
Um,
operations. Yeah.
we 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 we
Salespeople
we
don't.
hired
Yep.
we hired too quickly. It's paying
Yep.
salaries. Shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Should have we One thing I will say is I hired anyways, but to get to the point, What we did though is we had a good system going, man. We had
Yeah.
the pipelines full. We were developing leads. Pipelines were full, and they had called 3 times, called 9 times, and called 12 times. And
Yep.
when they came in, if there was 25 to 30 leads from the night before, they would hit those mothers 3 times, and they'd get on the
Yeah.
phone with somebody, and they'd hit them 6 times, and then 9 times, and then 12 times, and then we
Yep.
would have a retarget campaign. So when they would drag after 12 times, they would be in the 12 times column. We would retarget them, right? So those
Remember, I
people.
said minimum 23 times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next year, I'm going to hit him another 23
You
times.
should.
Tenacious. Hey,
Yep.
I say this to my son. You know, my son's 15 and he's dating. And I say, how many times do you have to hit the ball in baseball to be in the Hall of Fame? If you
I know
hit
what
the
you're saying.
ball
I
3
get the
out of
point.
10 times, if you ask 10 girls out and 3 say yes, bro, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now, when we put it in that perspective, some of us are just absolute rock stars.
Yeah. It's all a numbers game every
Yep.
single time, and it always will be a
Yep.
numbers game. So have you considered adding a fronter to your business?
Never heard of a fronter.
So my brother-in-law calls my leads for me and transfers them to me.
Yeah, yeah. We've experienced and played with some of that. If that would work, if we could find the right person, see, personalities get involved. Like you say, we don't like doing business with other people. There's so much business out there. Let's all go just bake our own pie here. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to be partners with you. I want to be your friend. I want to hang out. I want to fish. We'll throw business each other's way. But I don't want to be your business partner. There's too much opportunity for you and I to do. Let's work, collaborate. But yeah, I would use a fronter if I could get the right person. I just had such a high turnover with people like that starting out. I didn't have a lot of capital, and
So
I
I'll tell you the best way to do it.
wasn't growing fast
It's not.
enough.
It's. I know what you mean, and that is a way to really. Let me say this. Where you're at, if you and your wife's name's Mandy, right?
Yes. Medicare Mandy. Yep.
If you and Medicare Mandy are just going to keep it with you guys, if y'all are not going to grow a business, if you're going to grow a business, it is a really good idea, but not to hire locally. My
Right.
brother-in-law has he has a Hispanic accent. My wife is Latina. She's from Paraguay,
Nice.
and he's from Paraguay, and he has a thick accent, but he finds the ones that are actually interested and actually need help.
Love it.
And so I will say this: you can find really good, high quality virtual assistants. You just have to go and look. And
Yes.
if you ever get to the point, we can revisit this conversation. If you ever get to the point where you're going to scale your business and you're going to add like LOA team, it's a good model, man. Like you can
Yeah.
set up, let's say you have an office, right? And you hire two new agents and they're sitting at their desk all day. You can have them outbound dialing all day, which works. It works, man. Or you could have a virtual assistant on Kixie power dialing those same leads. And
Yeah.
they're, oh hey, this is Cynthia. I got your information from the Facebook post or from the whatever. You wanted information on the Attorney 65 Medicare supplement cards. I'm going to get you over to John. John is a licensed agent in the state of Georgia, and he's gonna chat with you and see if there's anything he can do to help you. Do you have 5 minutes? Yes, I've got 5 minutes. Great. Boom. Gets on another call
Right.
to the other agent. I'm telling you, it's a really good model.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because I've been doing this 6 years. I'm gonna tell you a secret, man. And it's not a secret because I've told a lot of people, but I have helped over 3,000 people. When I was
Cool.
working for my brother's agency, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable how many people I would help because I was a part of such a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it's 30 years in, the agency's been there for almost 35 years now. I was a part of something where I did do a lot of outbound dialing, but there were a lot of rewrites. I had a lot of leads that were, stuck in the system, but they were local. They knew the brand. So it was a lot easier. And I would help 500 people a year. I would write
Yeah.
300 Medicare Advantage plans and 150 med subs, and
Yeah.
then I do 50 ACA policies. So I have helped 3,000 people. And so this year when I started my own company, I said, to heck with calling. I'm not outbound dialing anymore. So I hired him, virtual assistants. You don't have to pay him. I wasn't going to pay him $2,000 a month, man. I can't afford that at this point.
Right.
I just started from
Right.
zero, but I paid him $500 a month plus a dollar a transfer, and he's happy because he was, their money is different there, man. He
Yeah.
was making $400 a month. I gave him a
Yeah.
raise, so
Exchange rate is unbelievable. Yep.
I paid him $500 a month, and he transfers like crazy. And I was
Yeah.
developing $1.70 leads. I was developing veterans, I was developing Native Americans, and he knocked it out of the park, man. In the month of September, I wrote 55 deals, all on transfers,
Yeah.
all on transfers. And
Yeah.
this
And
last
you
year
know,
was the wild, wild west with
3,000
STPs.
clients, 3,000 clients for people that don't know is between 1.2 and $1.5 million of renewable income, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? I started from zero in April, so all those people are with Bobby Brock Insurance or Paramount Insurance Brokers,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares? I learned a lot. I made a lot of money, and now a lot of those clients, obviously, they reach out to me. I'll end up moving them back under me, but
Yeah.
that is it's. I learned so much, man, and that's one thing I will say is hindsight's always 2020. And that's why I'm not building an LOA shop for these veterans.
Right.
I want people that want to build their own thing and they want to own their own thing and they
Yeah.
want to be paid directly and they want to be able to build as big of a business as they want if that's what they desire.
Yeah.
So, real quick, I know you're a busy guy. If you had to give, you've probably already given it, but if you had to give one piece of advice to somebody that was watching this that had already signed up, right? They're
Yeah.
already in the process because if they're in here and they're watching this school, they're probably already getting the process started, right?
Sure.
But they're watching this video and they're intrigued by you. Two things: where can they follow you and reach out, to have another mentor besides myself,
Yeah.
and also, what piece of advice would you give them besides, hey, call your leads a bunch of times, follow Johnny's lead? What other piece of advice
Oh,
besides that?
man. Let me say this: fail faster.
I love it, man. I love it.
Stop focusing on winning. If you fail miserably, you are becoming the type of person that you need to be to become wealthy. You must become a skillionaire before you become a millionaire. If you develop the skills, the money will follow. Stop focusing on failing. Fail miserably. Dive in and fail, fail, fail. Just don't stop being tenacious. That would be my advice. Medicare Mandy is my wife. Stertzbach Advisors is our website. Find a Johnny Brock and say, Johnny, teach me. Now look, I want to say this to the people coming in, Johnny, that are going to sit under you. Don't waste Johnny's time. If you come in, be absolutely tenacious, do what he tells you for a year, and you will be successful. But if you come in and fart around, and I want to do this, and I want to dip my toe in this, and I want to chase real estate part time, and I want to do this, and I want to do
Oh,
that,
I'm not working with
that
him.
you're wasting his life. Don't do
I'm not
that.
working with him. I
When you
tell,
come in, we want people that are swinging for the fences. If you strike out, it's okay. Babe Ruth struck out more than he hit home runs.
yeah, Michael Jordan missed more shots than anybody in the damn. I think Michael Jordan missed like 16,000
Yeah,
shots or something
Wayne
like that.
Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Fail faster. We do not fail fast enough in Western society. Fail miserably. It's okay to fail. Just learn the lessons, get them in the rearview mirror, and absolutely rock this business. There's money for everybody. Treat people right. I mean, it is shocking to me that if you answer your phone and you're honest and you're ethical and you have half a brain, you can make multiple six figures at home sitting in your underwear if you want to. But a lot of people, they're just not focused, they're just not tenacious. Man, find you a mentor. I want to say this: I went out last year and spent $20,000 on a tax advisor, and everybody said you're nuts, until tax time rolled around and that person saved me multiple six figures in taxes. Well, Johnny, if I wrote you a $10 or $20,000 check and my business blew up to $250,000, that is the absolute best investment that you could make. Time on target. Does no good to shoot artillery if you wait too long and the enemy gets away. Time, time, time. Fail fast. Learn this business, master your craft, and you will be successful. Look, it is so hard just to get anybody to answer the phone, pick up the phone, and be honest. Half of the people I get are because their agent won't call them back. I get
Um,
all kinds of ACA people. Well, I don't even know who my agent of record is. You answer the phone. Can you be my agent? I'm happy to help those people. I
sure.
don't even have to sell them. They're already on a plan.
Um, so where can they follow you if you don't mind? Obviously, I think it's important to help people grow their network.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where can people follow you to keep up and just reach
Yeah.
out and say, hey, I watched your video and I appreciate the information.
Medicare Mandy is my wife. Stertzbach Advisors. And I can send you how to spell that, Johnny. My last name, Advisors, Stertzbach Advisors. And we are going to help people. Our motto is people over policies. I will help people whether I get paid or not. And the windows of
Me
heaven
too,
have
man.
opened to me, man. It has been unbelievable how God is blessed. I love this industry. There is so much money in this industry. I feel like the ethical people should get it. Let's change the world. And this, insurance agents have this used car salesman shark mentality. Let's change it for the better. Let's make a huge impact in the world. Let's change people's lives. Let's change the industry. Let's show corporate America and call centers how much they suck and we hate them. Well, then let's do it better.
The best way to do that is to build local shops, local presences, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things that I teach in the training is, in the very beginning, what you want to do is you want to have a way to generate cash flow as quickly as possible, and then you want to
Yeah.
reinvest that cash flow into the long-term brand of your business because
Yes.
10, 15, 20 years from now, you should have a business that is local and that you don't even have to like you don't even have to pick up the phone and people come to you. Like you're getting calls while we're on this call, right?
Yeah.
It One is you want to build that brand and you want quick cash flow. There's multiple ways that you can do it. So whether you want to do it in person or over the phone is how I determine, what direction that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the agent goes in. But I
Sure.
genuinely, man, I appreciate your time. I love, just like I said, get on here chatting with veterans so that other veterans can see it and hear the stories because I think it helps motivate us and it helps us see things from different perspectives and point of views, which is important for growth. So appreciate you reaching out and allowing me to do the interview with you today.
Yeah,
Um,
man. Hey, you get to Georgia. Come on. I got a basement apartment, big, huge hobby farm. But man, I love this way of living. I love this quality of life. It's not always easy, but it is always wonderful. So I just want
not
to encourage everybody. Don't dip your toe in this business. Dive in and take off. Fly, little
Oh no,
bird.
one of the things that I will require is full blown, in depth in yourself in it because like I saw I'll end with this. It's funny that you're saying that. I saw a guy follow me on Instagram today. I'm doing an event in Houston, Texas, February 9th and 10th. I saw a
Yeah.
guy followed me on Instagram and his bio said tax advisor, insurance agent, real estate mogul. And I was like, okay. Yeah, yeah, bro, hey, you're not that guy. I mean, I it's like here's what I will say. You should build one thing. If it's real estate, it's real estate. If it's insurance, it's
Yeah.
insurance. If it's tax advising, it's tax advising.
Right.
Find something,
Yes.
go an inch wide and a mile deep, make a crap
Yes.
load of money, and take that money and invest it in real estate if
Yep.
that's what you want to do, right?
Yep.
But when you're first starting out, you need to submerge yourself in it. So we'll end with that. Submerge yourself in this, and you will be successful. Like he said, 365 days of doing what I'm saying, and you will be successful. In fact, it won't take you. I have a 90-day transformation. You will start making more money than you've ever made in 90 days if you do what I'm doing. Now, if you
Yeah.
only hop on the training calls and you don't actually go and put the time in, you're not going to get there. because it's 90 days. It takes
Yeah,
90
man.
days. If you only do work 30 days worth of work in 90 days, you're not going to be there. So
Correct.
I appreciate you, man. I'm going to end the call, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, man. Great. Great. Thanks for your service. God bless.